All right, today we're solving some multi-step equations. This one looks pretty ugly, and this one looks like a proportion over here, and I have a challenge one after that. Now, when you solve multi-step equations, you have to remember this. It's DCI. What the world does that stand for? It stands for distribute, combine, and then inverse operations. I'll show you what I mean as we go along with this. But let me move that down a little bit. We'll put it down here, DCI, okay? So first off, distribute. In this one, is there anything I can distribute? Yes, there is. I can distribute this -4 and get -24. Negative times a negative is a positive. 4 times 8 is going to be 32x. And I'm going to bring down the rest. Plus 4x equals 192. Okay? Now, that's the D. Can I distribute anything else? No, I cannot. So then I'm going to go to combine. Are there any like terms that I can combine? Remember your rules for like terms? You can only combine things if they're on the same side of the equal sign, as well as if they are the same variables with the same exponents. If you didn't learn the exponents part, that's probably okay. These are the only ones with x's, so we're going to put those together. This says -24 now, and if I can combine these two, what is 32x plus 4x? 36x. Okay, again, bring down the rest equals 192. Now you might be saying, the 24 and the 192, those don't have any x's, they're just numbers. Correct, but that's our next point, all right? That's going to be inverse operations. So there's nothing left to combine, but I can move this over now using inverse operations. I can't just combine them using the signs that they have because I'm going across the equal sign. So I have to use the inverse. What is the opposite of negative? It is a positive. I'm going to add 24 to both sides, just like so. And we get 36x equals, if I add that up, let's see, we got 6, 1, 1, that's 216. Divide by 36, divide by 36, and x equals, I'm going to guess 6. Yes, it is. Okay, x equals 6. All right, let's try this other one up here. It says 2x over x minus 10 equals 3/2. This is a proportion. How do you solve proportions? Cross multiply. So we're going to cross going from the top left to the bottom right. 2x times 2 is 4x. Stick an equal sign in between the next cross, which is going to be crossing bottom left to top right. And now we have a monomial, a single term and a double term. I like to put the single term outside of parentheses and the double term inside. By single and double, I mean one term and two terms. So be careful with that. Now, once it's set up the right way, DCI. Can I distribute anything? Absolutely. I can distribute my 3 in and get 4x equals 3x minus 30. 3 times -10 is -30. Okay, can I combine anything? No, I can't. All right, this is an x here and here, but they're on opposite sides of my equal sign. And the 30 doesn't have an x, so I cannot put that together. So because of that, I'm going to skip the C and go on to the I, which is inverse operations. I like to always move my smaller x. In this case, it's the 3. It is positive, so I'm going to undo that with subtraction. Okay, and what, of course, is 4x minus 3x? 1x. And can I write that as just x? Yes, I can. The only thing that's left over here is -30. Am I done? Yeah. All right, let's move on to that challenge problem. All right, so like I said, we're going to have a challenge problem here, a little word problem. It says a rectangle has a perimeter of 20 inches. What is the width if the length is 6 inches? I would suggest drawing a picture. All right, let's draw a picture of this rectangle. The length is usually the long part, so I'm going to say that is 6. All right, 6 inches. And it says, what's the width? Well, when we have a what in math, we use a variable, right? Let's just call it x. So that's going to be, length times width. Now, it says that the perimeter is 20. What's perimeter? That's going to be adding up all the edges. And so if you know anything about a rectangle, the opposites are the same. So this is 6, and that is x across from each other. Well, how many 6's do we have? We have 2. So I'm going to say 2 times 6. I have to add these up. So I'm going to say plus x and x, well, that is 2x, equals the whole perimeter, which was, in our directions, 20. Just like that. Okay? Does this kind of look like what we had before? Yeah, it does, right? Let's see if we can figure some stuff out. What is 2 times 6? That's 12. and then 2x, just bringing down the rest, equals 20. Now you could have said, I guess, that that's technically distributing. Okay, I don't know. I think we can probably do 2 times 6. Otherwise, can I combine anything? Not yet. All right, I have to use inverse operations to move the 12 to the other side of my equal sign. It's currently positive, so I'm going to subtract 12, not 16. Subtract 12. Okay, and I get 2x equals, well, 20 minus 12 is 8. And then it becomes pretty simple math. Divide by 2, and x equals 4. So let's just plug it in and see if it works out. If this is 4 and this is 4, what's 4 plus 6? Well, that's 10. And another 4 plus 6 is 10. Is 10 plus 10, is that 20? Yeah.